Well, it's time to get to our grading again around the pond. It's time to get it seeded, so we've got to get some of this going here. I've got Dave hauling dirt, Christy behind the camera. I'm running the laser. Let's get started. First thing I'm doing is kind of re-leveling this top. I think it may have settled a little bit, or who knows, some of it may have washed out. So I'm just going to try to revisit it a little bit and see if we can get it in a little better shape.
Hey, if you enjoy our content, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe.
We had some water stand right in here this winter, so we're going to have to do something to drain some of that. I may add just a little bit of soil right here, but I think I've got an area down there that I need to dig out a little bit, which I think will help with as much as anything. Mash that down on time, and then come back through with the laser. I want to let you know right up front, this episode's going to be a little bit different than a lot of the ones you see on our channel. There's going to be lots of tractor action, but quite frankly, at times it seems like we're not headed toward any particular goal. I assure you that we are headed towards getting all of this seeded around the pond, but today's activities, well, they may be a little hard to figure out on their own. While it's very hard to visualize some of these minute changes in elevation, hopefully I can explain some of it as we go along. Overall, we're trying to accomplish the final grading and get ready for seed. I don't know how much we need in here, actually. Okay, so there's one goal. We had some water standing in this area over the winter, so I want to make sure that we build that up.
So there's a large disparity between the rim and where you're going, so...
Yeah, it's right next to the rim. I do want that, right? I don't want that to be very steep.
Right.
Okay, so there's a second goal. I want the slope upward to the pond bank to be quite gentle. I want it to be easy to mow without gouging, and I think the best way to do that is to keep this slope quite gentle. So Dave's filling in soil there in the areas that are a little more steep. And yes, those of you with hills will laugh at the terms I'm using. But hey, I'm a flatlander. I can use the term steep to describe 1 degree. Further away from the pond, 20, 30 feet away, I want to make sure that I can get water to drain all the way around it to the exit, which is in front of the tractor. For all of this type of work, I'm not actually using the laser feature of the box blade. At this point, I'm just trying to guess, really. I watched the water flow throughout the winter, and I'm making these changes based on what I saw. I'll talk some more about other goals and actually some of the primary goals of our pond and our vision there in just a minute. But first, I want to talk about Dave. We've got a lot of comments asking about who Dave is. Who is this Jack Black character? Well, we've been happy to begin to get to know Dave. We first met him on our mission trip to Honduras. By the way, if you haven't seen that series, that's a great series with 1025R content. That'd be a good one for all of you new viewers that are saying that a 1025R is a lawnmower and can't do anything. Anyway, we next caught up with Dave at his wedding. That's right, TTWT was involved in mowing the outdoor facility for his wedding and then actually videoing the wedding itself. Another very unique and entertaining episode that you ought to check out. Well, since then, I've realized that I just don't have enough time to be able to maintain all the equipment that we've got around here now. Dave is a mechanic for over-the-road trucks for a major corporation in the area. He works 4 10-hour days, so that leaves him a couple of days free to help me. What an amazing addition. We have a lot of fun together, and Dave's skill is beyond his years. Now, this area here is a hump that I built up several years ago, obviously before we redid the pond, and it was an experiment to try to see if I could keep water from coming from across the road and going into the pond. Well, I'm finished with that experiment now, and I need to get rid of the hump so it'll be nice and smooth to mow. I want to remind you about the reverse auction starting this week. Folks, I know that small tractor pricing has gone crazy, especially in the John Deere lineup. So we've worked with a company called CloudStore. CloudStore.co is the website that's hosting this reverse auction starting April the 2nd. And you'll see 8 tractors listed there now. Starting on the 2nd, those prices will be lowered every 12 hours until one of you pulls the trigger and decides to buy one of those machines. I think this is some of that original levy that I put up several years ago. I'm not positive.
I'm thinking that's what it is.
These machines are classified as used, but they're really new tractors that have never been off the dealer's lot. There's at least 1.5 years of the original 2-year warranty remaining, and of course the 6-year powertrain warranty is barely even started. 5.5 years left on most of these machines. There are a couple of older machines in the lineup. One is a 3520 that I think you should go check out. We give it a very detailed walk around in the video, and I'm impressed with its state. It's a one-owner machine. The owner passed away, obviously meticulously cared for. We've got videos of almost every machine in this reverse auction, and given that they're new, we try to be very picky about what we see. We're looking for any fading or any sun damage, weather damage that we see, and yeah, we just do our best to illustrate their condition. Folks, we've gone to a lot of effort on this, and the point is to try to find a way for you to get a cost-effective new tractor with warranty without paying new price. Again, go to cloudstore.co. If you have specific questions, you can call Justin or Andrew. They are well versed on this event and ready to take your call.
I think I'm going to try to run along here like I'm running level. Even though eventually I'm going to want to taper it off an inch or so, but at least if I run it along here kind of like this. Then we'll have an idea where we are. Yeah, it looks really rough and muddy right now. It's hard to...
I thought you had fixed the jerking.
And my man told me he had a better solution, but he never has come through.
Meanwhile, I can adjust some of this. I just didn't take the time today. When I run it with different tractors, with different hydraulic flows, I have to readjust the amount of time that the valve stays open. It's not perfect, but for the price, it's a pretty nice system for automated grading.
Tim, I'm thinking right there in front of Christie's going to need some more dirt. What do you think?
I think so, yeah.
Dave's gonna make me move.
No, I think you can stay where you're at, yeah.
It's such little change in elevation, it's hard to see with the camera.
I'm telling you, it's hard to see with the eye. And I can't really use the laser.
Why is that?
Ooh, now she's asked a question that, well, is difficult for me to articulate. I can use this system to make something level or to make a defined slope. Think of a swale or ditch.
Yeah.
Here, though, we need a lot of variations in elevation, not just a consistent plane. I could potentially define swales with specific slopes around the pond, and I may eventually have to do that, but that's going to be difficult and time-consuming with the laser system. Now, with a GPS system, you can define the exact elevation that you want every individual point in your two-dimensional plane to be. I've not done this myself, but my understanding is that major construction projects use this approach all the time now. Meanwhile, for the cost and complexity, I'm still really impressed with this Canamex system. It can do specific grading tasks pretty well, and I know of no other system at this price point that we could get set up on these compact tractors. This Canamex system integrates directly with your Summit hydraulic kit. A lot of you have that now, and it'll work with any pull-type box blade or other hydraulically lifted attachment. I'm actually a little bit surprised that we don't see more of these in the field. Okay, I promised that I would share more of our overall goals here with the grading. As you can see, Dave is still trying to lessen that slope from the rim of the pond. So that hits on my major goal and probably the most unique goal of what we're doing here on the pond. I have elevated this rim of the pond to try to prevent any outside water from getting in. Exactly the opposite goal of probably 99% of all ponds created. I'm doing this to try to prevent the pond from silting in again from the neighbor's farm. Heavy rains would flood our property and fill our pond quite quickly, and then, over the years, the dirt that was carried in with the water just created silt and filled up our pond.
Now, definitely no further out than that do we need any dirt, because that's some of where I have to take some dirt off. In fact, maybe I'll do that now. Because I think this is the hump right here, Dave, where you're standing, water stands in there.
Right.
and does not make it on down there. So I think I probably need to pull some of that out.
Do you want any more along next to where I'm standing currently, or?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have, I mean, you're pretty good way back there where you are.
Okay.
But it gets a little steeper around here, I think, right?
Okay.
So between me and the levee is fine. I just want to make sure that down through here, I actually don't have the level here to know for sure where I am. I'm going to try to cut a little. Yeah, see, that did a big chunk there. That's a good major cut.
In other words, that didn't do anything. Anyway, we built up the rim last fall. We had an episode on that. I've spent a lot of time making sure that the entire rim is at the same height and that it is higher than anything around it so that external water can't get in. And by the way, that's an example of something this laser system can do beautifully. Okay, let's talk just a little bit about future plans. I've got several things I need to accomplish this spring before the pond project is, well, at least structurally complete. Since I'm not allowing external drainage water into it, I've got to figure out a way to keep it full. I've had 2 different plans in mind on that, and I think I've settled at this point, so we'll be showing you that over the next few weeks or months as we get time. And on the other side, I have to figure out how to drain water out of the pond. If it just keeps raining, even without external drainage water coming in, the pond could overflow. So I've got to have a way to drain it, but yet not allow backflow back into it. Again, we've got a plan, just have to get time to execute. Meanwhile, we'll keep working with naturalwaterscapes.com to get the proper environment for and everything set up for our fish. If you're interested in some of the history of our ponds and the challenges we've had keeping it full, go to naturalwaterscapes.com/TTWT, and there you'll see the challenges and some of the remedies that they've helped us implement. So while the major construction work is nearing a close, some of the most interesting aspects are probably still in front of us. While I've referred to this as final grading, it's clearly not final yet, right? We've actually got several steps yet to go, and we'll be showing you those in some detail. But hopefully, assuming this early spring holds, we can get this seeded and get some good rains before the hot summer gets here, and maybe we can have pretty grass. This is the area that I backed my trailer into when we dumped that pea gravel in there. Some of the cleanup that surrounded that, I think, lowered this section of the rim a little bit, so we're fixing that here. You can probably guess by my low travel speed that I'm using the laser here. In this case, I'm running the lift mechanism on automatic, and the tilt I'm controlling manually. I can see the level right there on my display and then manually control the tilt as necessary. Given how my blade is set up and how the systems are independent, I find that controlling the tilt manually works better most of the time. Otherwise, the 2 systems just fight each other. Got some good views of the pond overall here. We made it a little more circular, made it a little shorter on each end, and a little bit wider. The resulting size is probably a little bit larger than the existing pond before, but it's going to hold a lot more water because it's 12 foot deep in the middle, and that 12-foot flat bottom has about a 60 or 65 foot diameter. At the rim, it's about 102, 104 feet wide, and maybe up to 120 or 130 feet in the widest direction. Roughly a quarter of an acre of surface area on the water. Now you can see the line of landscape bricks that we put in the far end of the pond here, and we stopped filling last fall when the water got up to the base of those 2 landscape bricks. There's 2 rows there. The rest of that water fill happened on its own. It looks like maybe close to a foot of water added simply by the rains. We're not seeing the level go down yet, but we'll see how that goes going forward. Hey, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. We were therefore buried with him through baptism into death, in order that, just as Christ was raised from the dead through the glory of the Father, we too may live a new life.